friends, Vika here. Today I'm going to be talking about the books that I read this past month of May. And I'm sorry if you hear like some wishy-washy thingy in the background. My dishwasher is on and I don't really have any other time to film or clean my house. So yeah, there's that. Anywho, so these are the books I read in May. Sorry I've been kind of late and missing out on YouTube lately. This is my last month of my bachelor career, so it's been kind of crazy and I just have not had time to do anything. I've had time to read, obviously, but yeah, let's just get started. The first book that I read this month was Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I actually listened to this on audiobook and followed along while reading, and then also transitioned about while reading. Read it and then found a chapter on audiobook, and this I gave 4.5 stars. This was beautifully written, such a lyrical prose, and I loved it. This is about a guy named Laszlo Strange. He is an orphan and he becomes not a scholar but a scribe at a library, and he is obsessed with this city of Weep. This is a forgotten city. It's basically an urban myth and legend. It's been so forgotten that people have forgotten the name of the city and call it Weep. Anyone who's been searching for this city never returns and whatnot. And so Laszlo has just been obsessed with this city of Weep. And one day there's a caravan that comes and it's from Weep, and they're looking for people to, you know, take back with them because there's some sort of issue and whatnot, and Laszlo is trying to get in on the action. There's 2 perspectives in this book. I don't know if some people I know really don't like that, so I thought I would mention that. But what I loved about this book was the world building and the character development were just so good, and you can't help but feel for Laszlo, and his desires become your desires and everything like that. And this glare is so bad on this dust jacket, gosh. What I didn't like about this, there's like there's an insta love basically that happened in the second portion of this book. That might be a bit of a spoiler, but it was so teenagery and so like a love at first sight kind of thing, and I was just so annoyed with it. And I kind of saw the twist coming a little bit. I had a feeling something like obviously is gonna happen, and yeah, this was good. I liked it. I feel like you will too, and yeah. This next book I gave 5 stars, and that is Illuminae by Amie Kauffman and Kristoff, and wow, this dust jacket is coming off. Illuminae Files, it's the Illuminae Files series, and I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. So this book is written in like multiple mediums kind of thing. It's like a sci-fi, and it's basically taking place on a spaceship, and there is a crazy AI. There is a virus on a spaceship. Imagine you're recycling air and everything like that, and stuff happens, and it's so good. I don't even know how to explain it without sounding crazy and stupid, but basically these 2 people, they break up on this one day. This is the very, very beginning. They break up, and on the day they break up, basically an invasion happens on their planet, and now they're left to try to survive. 2 exes trying to survive on a spaceship that is running rampant based on disease and a crazy AI, and it is so good. I get it's not for everyone just because of the mixed media and it can be kind of hard to read, but the audiobook, I was following along with the audiobook because it was automatically available on my library on my phone, and so I just downloaded it and I was like, I'm gonna listen to it while I'm reading because I was done with all my audiobooks, and so it was fun. And look how cool it looks naked. It looks really cool. And I don't know, if you like sci-fi and you want to try something new, this is definitely for you. Yeah, that's about it. This next book I read was The Winter's Kiss by Rutkoski, and I gave this 3 stars. This is the final book in a trilogy, and what this trilogy is basically about is this girl, she's a general's daughter, and she's part of a kingdom that's been conquering other places, and she takes in a slave one day, and drama from there ensues, and so there's a lot of political intrigue and a lot of drama, I guess. This is a YA novel, if you can't tell by the cover. Yeah, and I was kind of just by the end, I didn't care anymore. It was a lot of like, will they, won't they kind of thing, back and forth, and I was just happy to end the series, to be honest. I hate conclusions. I usually do. It's just a personal thing. Like, I feel like there's always something missing and always unsatisfied, and this one, like, it was an okay conclusion. This whole book was just okay. The thing is, like, this girl, she's like 17 or whatever, and because she's a general's daughter and was grown to like think strategically and everything like that, everything she does, she's always right, and she always, like, everything always goes her way, and she's always smarter than everyone, and it's kind of annoying, to be honest. Like, Kestrel, the main character, she's really annoying. And yeah, I can't really give you much more into what happens this book without spoiling everything that leads up in this series. Maybe I think I'm gonna do another review just specifically for this book, like this whole series review, like a wrap up. You guys seem to like my Victoria Aveyard wrap up. Why am I forgetting the Red Queen? Why am I forgetting that? The Red Queen series review. So I feel like that's a good idea, like just wrapping up series, because it's people who usually are interested in hearing about the series. But anyhow, this kind of predictable, and I felt like the ending was super rushed and super convenient, and yeah, I just couldn't care for it. I hated all, like, I'm annoyed of the two main characters, and I couldn't care less about them, and there's always like one extra person who's thrown in there to be like kind of a love interest, but not really. It's just causing unnecessary drama. Didn't like that. Yeah. That's about it. 3 stars. And another issue I had with this book is my fault completely, because I hadn't read the series in years. Like, I don't remember the last time I picked this up. It's probably in high school or my freshman year of college. I can't remember like when I finished the second book, and so it was like maybe the reason I didn't enjoy it as much was because I had to put in effort to recall what had happened, and just the events that led up to this, and it just wasn't like, I didn't remember as much as I probably should have to make this enjoyable, if that makes sense. But yeah, 3 stars. It was decent. Like, there are worse series out there, but there are better series out there. So yeah, that's my thoughts. This next book I really didn't enjoy, and that is Darken by Kiersten White. This is the first book in a trilogy. It is basically a retelling of Vlad the Terrible or something like that. The Conqueror, I can't remember what his name is, but I didn't like it. I couldn't care for the two main characters. I gave it 2.5 stars, maybe 3, and like, I have no other words. I didn't understand the sibling dynamic, so it's told in 2 perspectives: the sister of Vlada and the brother, see, I've already forgotten his name, Radu. And I did not understand the relationship, their dynamic, and it was just really weird, and I don't know. This book isn't very violent, and there aren't very many trigger warnings, and the thing is, like, I don't know, it just felt off, because there's like these, I mean, it starts from like the moment they're born, and then it goes until they're like 16, 17, whatever, and it just doesn't make sense how, like, they're so smart and they're so intelligent, have so much experience, and it just didn't make sense to me, and I wasn't buying into it, and I hated basically all of the main characters. I also hated, why am I forgetting his name? Like, legit, like, I forget character's name I couldn't care less about. Mahmed. I hated Mahmed. I hated him with a passion. I don't understand why everyone's obsessed with him in the book. And yeah, that's about it. I like the supporting characters, like Nikolai and Bogdan. I'll give that. But the thing is, like, they're barely in the book. They're not in it nearly as much as all the other characters, the 3 I mentioned, and they're the only ones that made this kind of durable. I don't know if I'm going to continue the series. I'm not going to go out of my way to purchase the next book or anything unless, like, I find like a cool deal or see it at a thrift shop or something. I say pass on this one, honestly. Like, maybe it's for someone else out there. I don't know. What was cool about this book, though, was they kind of showed the dynamic between Christianity, and they also talked about Islam, and just like they showed both of those like religions, and it was pretty cool representation. I thought it wasn't like preachy towards one religion or the other. It's just like presented them, which I thought was realistic, especially considering the area they're in and time frame, and I thought that was important, and I liked how it did incorporate that. This next book, I actually, as of filming this, I am not done with it. I'm about halfway, but this is super, super quick, easy. This is Garden City by John Mark Comer, but by the time this video goes up, I'll probably have finished it. I actually am really enjoying this. This is about work, rest, and the art of being human from a religious standpoint. So yeah, that's about it. I like kind of how it's written, the style. What I don't like though is like, look how big the spacing is between the things, and there's also like a page in between every chapter. I felt like this is such a waste of paper. Like, look at that spacing, look at that font. It just bugged me, and it's like, this book is probably could have been like a quarter of the length shorter, and that bugs me. That's about it. This next book I actually DNF'd, and that is Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I picked this in one of my jars, and I got like a third of the way through, so that's like page 100 something, and I DNF'd it. Did not finish it because I dropped it because I was not enjoying it. I kind of saw what was gonna happen, and I knew. I looked it up kind of thing, and I was like, I'm not shocked that's where it went kind of thing. But the thing is, this book is really gruesome and is very crude and vivid, and like, I'm pretty new to the whole thriller genre, and this one was really, it's not a good introductory novel is what I'm trying to say, because it is pretty, it's not violent, but it's like very gruesome in the way that the main character, she's unreliable, which is pretty cool, you know. It's like, what do I believe, like, what do I think? But she's an alcoholic. She has issues, like straight up issues, and there's like a lot of swearing, and it just made me feel very uncomfortable, and I didn't want to read something that made me feel uncomfortable just for uncomfortable's sake, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm okay with feeling uncomfortable if there's like a message in a book, you know, like some contemporaries, like if someone is like a victim of rape or something like that, and this is it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable, it's supposed to be thought-provoking, but this is a thriller, you know. It's supposed to make you uncomfortable just to like, you know, and so I didn't want to continue it, and that's why I didn't finish it. This is definitely right up some other people's alleys, just not mine. I feel like I need to get more into the thriller genre and work up my way to this, not just be thrown into it not randomly, but thrown deep into the water, if that makes sense. Isn't she have a book something like Thrown in Water or something? Doesn't matter. Anywho, so yeah, I didn't finish this. It's honestly mostly on my part, and just I can't like stomach it, rather than like it wasn't good, you know? Yeah. Next book I read one of the Lemony Snicket books every single month. This was the second month I've been doing this, and the book was The Reptile Room, and I liked this more than the first one. It like got better. You're more into the kids and everything like that. I hadn't seen this TV show, and I was like thinking about the TV show while I was reading this, and I was like, the TV show did an amazing job. It really did. It did everything that was important, and I can't remember certain things, so I'm gonna definitely rewatch the series after I finish the books. And yeah, this was good. This is better than the first one, and I really hope the third one is even better. I gave this 3.5 stars. I gave the first book 3 stars. I'm not the targeted audience for this, obviously, but yeah, I learned some new words, and this was fun. So these two books, Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson and The Cage Queen by Kristen. I did not get to this month. I got behind, and so these are going to be thrown over to the next month. This one I'll definitely read in the month of June. I don't think I included it on my June TBR video. I filmed that like a week ago. And Truly Devious, I don't know if I get to. It's not part of the theme that I'll be going for my June TBR. You'll see the video, and I'll link it in here, I guess, if it goes up before then or something like that. I feel like every single month I get 2 books pushed over. I read books that are not on my list, and or whatever. I just caught up on the books that I was behind on, so that's pretty cool. So I'll see you all soon. Let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these, what your thoughts were on them. If you want to talk about it, we can talk about it. Let me know if you want me to do a review on the Winter's Kiss trilogy. I honestly don't think I'm very well equipped to review it thoroughly because it has been so long. Like the span of me reading the entire series has been like 6 years. So I don't think I don't think I'm properly equipped, but I can do my research and whatever, if that's what you guys want. So let me know in the comments below. I'll see you all soon. Bye now. Mwah.